Hey, everybody. I'm Bob.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Jason.
Yes.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. As you can see, Mike is not here, so we're going to attempt to run the show without him. We'll see how it
What?
goes.
I would just say we just upgraded the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, we upgraded hosts, definitely. But
Yeah,
as
that's
far as
true.
tech directing, that's me also now, so that might be a step back because I'm not used to it at all.
Eh.
So bear with any hiccups that we have, and please welcome our guest, Jason. Jason, what is it that you do?
Well, I do a few things. I've got some part-time jobs and stuff like that, but Killer Mystery is my baby here that I'm here to kind of plug and talk about and discuss. It's been a labor of love and a lot of time and money and all kinds of craziness over these last couple of years getting it going. But it's launched a little over a year ago, and we're still building up subscribers and getting. We have a one-time game, a non-subscription game that's coming out soon. It's a lot of work, but I love it, and just here to talk all things Killer Mystery and whatever else we want to talk about.
Nice. A bit of a passion project there, eh? Audio quality not great for Jason. Do you have your speakerphone on, Jason? Or are you just using your regular microphone on there?
No, I got the Bluetooth with my Beats here. But,
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, we'll keep
all right.
We'll keep messing with it. See what we can do.
Yeah. Try to share some links here. So bear with me while I share some.
While I will fill while Bob is doing that. So I can say firsthand. So Jason sent me some Killer Mystery here, and we dove in. And apropos of the topic, tonight, the plot twists start early. I mean, we open like one envelope. We're like, oh, open and shut. This is gonna be easy. And then you get into another envelope and you're like, well, hold on a minute. And it's yeah. It's very twisty. It's fun because I've been doing them with my wife and my sister was like just furiously taking notes and like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And like we're passing stuff around and we're talking about it, and
It's definitely that kind of game.
No, yeah, but I've heard ads, right, for like these mystery box subscription kind of things, and I've always been curious. So this was the first one that I've like sunk my teeth into, and I'm really it's been a super fun activity, right, to engage in and take part in and share. But at the same time, I'm really impressed with like I think the writing has been interesting. I think the clues, like the pictures, the reports, like all of that stuff. So I will have a million questions on like how you do some of that. But like,
fire away.
Yeah. Okay. So question one, do you write all this yourself? Do you have writers? You have some collaborators or?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a one-man show, but I do have some helpers, some freelancers, things like that, who have chimed in and helped create some of the clues and some of the, just photographs and just some of the various, graphic design and just logos and just all the various things that go into it. The core of the story is just most of it was created by me. I've always kind of had active imagination and been kind of a movie buff and dive into a good series or book or things like that. I don't know. It just sort of comes naturally to me. I guess if there's a talent, that's one thing that God gave me. That just that ability to kind of come up with storyline and characters and just different kind of just twists and turns and things like that. I don't know. My mind just works in that manner. I guess so. It's fun to me, and I've had a great time kind of coming up with it, and I will have a certain, I can't count how many times I've been like, okay, this killer is definitely going to be this person, and then I'm like, yeah, but it'd be kind of cool if I just twist it around and make it that other way.
Nice.
But then then it's I give myself a bunch of extra work because then I'm like, okay, well, I got to go back and change these clues then and kind of change the narrative and things like that to make it, at least make sense in that regard if you're going to point to this other person now. So. But it's a lot of fun, and I don't know. That's a knack for me, I guess. Like I've had to hire out for like the, like my banner stand behind me, the logo and things of that nature. Graphic design and artwork, that type of thing. I mean, I can do stick figures and that's about it. But
Same.
yeah, so other than that, so the story is really kind of my baby, and then like I said, I've hired out some freelancers and things like that that have helped me along the way. But that does bring me to the point that I kind of wanted to really dive into is that, I played a few of these games, and I'm certainly not going to knock any of my competitors, although I could. That would be kind of fun. But I'm not gonna. There's a lot of really cool games out there, and this just sort of murder mystery and kind of broader category. There's a lot of different ones out there, and it's no doubt becoming a crowded marketplace. But I tried a few in some of my sort of competitor research, and I didn't dislike them, but I found most of them, and again, I haven't played every single one out there, but a lot of them were more like, I think I messaged you guys kind of like this through Instagram the other day when we were chatting, but I didn't really like some of the themes that were going about. It just seemed like it was too much like there's a damsel in distress, and it's sort of a role play, and you're the grizzled detective that chugs coffee with a 5 o'clock shadow. I mean, that's just kind of the vibe I was getting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I was like, I don't know. It's kind of been done, and like, I mean, I'm not saying you can't make it very cool and immersive and really like some of those games. They really dive in. I mean, it's really like a cold case. I mean, it's like you're truly. I mean, it's fictional, but I mean, it truly is like it's forensic stuff, and there's just all these different things you got to figure out, and it's like you really are a detective in a sense, and that's really cool if you want to dive in. But I wanted to kind of go another route. I still wanted to have that, okay, there's a murder, there's a mystery, what's going on, but I wanted to really make it story immersive and not so much like you're just collecting all this evidence and kind of going through the motions. I wanted there to be like kind of a book and a movie, sort of have a baby, and there's a game born out of it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so and you probably noticed when you went through, whatever boxes you're on. I know I gave you a set, but it really is kind of like that, episode, centric type thing where
Yeah.
it's almost like a TV show playing out, or a good book, or a movie, or series, or something like that. And what makes it into a game, obviously, is the clues and ciphers and things that you're trying to figure out, and you're furiously making notes and things like that, and trying to connect timelines. And that is all kind of your typical what you might expect from maybe one of those detective ones. But if you look in the story, I mean, the clues are obviously important, but the story cards. I don't know if you have any handy, but those story cards, those little story cards are in each of the envelopes. I mean, that really is the story. I felt like the other games, they're kind of dripping clues in, and they're kind of playing out a story through the clues. But I'm like, well, why can't I just give you the story? I mean, I'm a pretty decent writer, I like to think, so why can't I just come up with like a cool story, like I would a book or a movie script or something like that, and give it to you, but I just don't give you every single little, I'm dropping hints, and there might be a few red herrings, but I'm just not giving you the answer. But I'm throwing some twists in there, and I'm literally giving you that literal actual story, line by line, word for word, and it's not real long. I mean, the average, there's 2 or 3 story cards on average in each like scene envelope, So that's really I wanted to go like real story centric, just very very immersive in the story, and then the clues and everything just sort of make it, just that much more fun.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I really love the like, I'm just showing stuff from the very first one just because it keeps it pretty spoiler free. But it's very cool to like have the, like an invitation, and you're looking and you're reading all the names on the invitation,
Right.
One of the things that I thought was really cool, and we just went over this like nonstop. And so I don't know how you made it, but like, like the crime scene photograph, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, this doesn't really spoil much, like you don't really know what's going on there. It's not really spoiling.
Well, I screen capped that. I figured it all out. That's all I needed. Got it. Nailed
Well, Jason's a worse writer than we thought.
Not as talented as I thought I was,
yeah. But I mean, just that stuff was really cool. Like, because there's a couple different versions of that photograph that, you know, we encounter, and you're comparing, you're contrasting. Some of them have like some notes written on them, you know, and things like that. And so you're like, oh shit, okay. You know, this was there, and that's, you know, like, okay, what's going on here? So well, some really cool stuff on there.
And you, I'm sure you noticed pretty much, but you know, I haven't broken down into those scene on. And we're talking about a subscription box where it's kind of episodic. You know, so there's box 1, box 2, or you know, I call them really like episode 1, episode 2, that kind of thing. But so in those scene envelopes, there's, you know, like the story card, the research card, and then of course several clues, a lot of paper clues. Sometimes there's a QR code that takes you back to the website where maybe there's an acted out video or just another document, but it's just kind of housed on the site. So those scenes, I mean, it's intentional, but you know, like let's just say the opening scene, you know, dead bodies found near a gas station. Well, you know, one of the clues might actually be like, you know, let's say a gas station receipt that was dropped at the scene. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe it was sloppy by the killer. Maybe, you know, and it might not even mean anything right then and there. But, you know, what do you see on a typical, let's say, gas station receipt, right? Like the last 4 of the credit card, the dollar amount, you know, how many gallons of gas, blah, 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 you know. But, you know, so it doesn't really mean anything right then and there, but you kind of set it aside, and then, you know, a couple scenes later, you see, like, well, wait a minute, that same credit card was used by this person over here, and now you're just, you know, the wheels are turning, and now you're just starting to really kind of put things together, and it still may not, you know, it's not like, oh, there's an instant answer, but, you know, you just start, like, connecting things, and it really makes you think, you know.
Yeah, and I think the fun thing, though, is also trying to determine where these threads are actually red herrings, right? You know what I mean? Like, because you are drawing all these things together, right? And you're like, okay, this and this. Oh, but they were there, like they were doing this, or they don't know this, and it's like, hold on. You know, and this was our particular approach, has been like we sit down, like as we're going through stuff, we're just like shouting out all these theories, you're right, as we're going, and then it's like, oh nope, that, like, cross that out, like that's not it, that can't be it, you know, because of X, you know, or Y. But then there's been times where it's like, maybe we need to double back to that theory, you know. So but like I said, we've had a good time with the twists and turns.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I really intend. I mean, you can certainly play this solo or just with a couple people. I think it's fun with like a small group, like 3, 4, maybe 5 people, whatever, family, just friends, whatever, together. It's just that type of game because you are. It's not like a typical board game where you're moving, so many spots or flipping a card or anything like that. I mean, you really are just kind of like going through the things. I mean, there are some ciphers and puzzles and things like that you're solving along the way to kind of move forward to the answer, but. For the most part, it really is kind of just visual, and you're reading through, and you're kind of just bouncing theories off each other if you are playing, with another person or several people. And I think that's the funnest. I mean, to me, you get like, maybe a few drinks in and order a pizza, and like all of a sudden you're just, you're laughing at, it's like a funny topic, but it's, someone's dead, but I mean, it's like you're laughing at the
theories, it's fiction.
And somebody has a wild theory that's not even remotely close, and then you're just cracking up,
right.
So it is that type of game where you can definitely have a good laugh and as you bounce theories off each other,
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I love it. It's also sort of that thrill of opening the new envelope and just like, because we really got smacked down pretty quick. We thought we had it buttoned up, and then you open up a new envelope, and it's like, oh, damn it.
Well, I feel like that's my specialty. That's what I try to do, is the cliffhanger and the twist, and just kind of keep you going one direction and just kind of like turn you a little bit. And at some point you can eliminate certain people, but it definitely keeps you thinking the whole time.
What I will say is so far, it hasn't felt like a cheat though either. Because when we get into like movies and stories and stuff, or we talk about movies with plot twists, when there's like a cheat, like, and there's no, if there's a mystery, for example, you're watching a mystery movie or you're reading a mystery book, if there's no way possible for you to figure out who the killer is or, who did what, it feels like a cheat.
Right. It was this guy we've never introduced the entire time.
Yeah. Like I don't need to, I mean, I have been pretty good at like figuring out movies before I get there, and if it's still a satisfying ride, you know, like cool.
Fine.
Sometimes if it's too obvious and you're just like, okay, you know, like let's just get it over with. It's pretty obvious. How does everybody here not know? But when it's like just a total cheat, I'm kind of like, well, that's bullshit, you know.
Yeah, this is garbage, you know.
Yeah, so I appreciate like a fun mystery where you yeah, it feels like you're actually doing something, right? You know, if you have the rug pulled out from underneath you, it's more like in an interesting way than because I didn't have all the evidence and the facts yet, you know. So like as you accumulate more evidence and facts and you're tying more leads together, you know, you really can try to eliminate some people, or maybe this is just like a weaker, like I don't feel as strong about this theory, so go over here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because, you know, like the rug being pulled out, because I think, you know, early on when I was just coming up with sort of, you know, just concepts and just, you know, trying to get the logo together and just story ideas and just all the various, you know, just the early days, I thought like, oh, I wonder if that would be interesting to just kind of like introduce somebody at the very end and like, hey, he's the killer or whatever. And then I was like,
sure.
wait a minute, that's just going to enrage people. I mean, they had no chance at that point. It's literally just introduced at the very end. I mean, I can't do that. You know, maybe in a movie it's okay or something like that, perhaps, but even that you got to be careful, I think.
I mean, only if they're lurking, right? Like if you've had the opportunity to maybe spot them, you know, like, oh, they were in the background over here or they were in the background over there, you know, like maybe, right? Because like, I mean, not to spoil anything or get into stuff, but like 7 does a decent job of that, you know. You know, like you're not necessarily going to know like, oh, that's the person, but there are opportunities, right? It rewards you to go back and revisit because there are some clues in there and you're like, oh, okay. But you know, David Fincher is really good at that. He's awesome at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there that, you know, you look at some of the old school, and I mean, you know, Agatha Christie and just, you know, even Hitchcock and stuff. And I have kind of you know, I'm sort of a horror fan, and I kind of like
same
murder mystery, so I really get into that. So you know, I kind of like some of that sort of crossover type stuff where it's maybe a little bit of each type of genre kind of thing. But,
yeah, give me a melting pot. Carlos is our heavy hitter on the show. He comes in with the crunchiest questions, and he is not disappointing tonight. He wants to know what role foreshadowing plays in creating satisfying versus unsatisfying twists.
Oh, that's a good question. You guys want to take that now? You know, I have kind of a love-hate with foreshadowing. I mean, I think that, you know, this may seem like a cop-out, but it really isn't. My answer truly is it is dependent upon the story.
Sure.
I mean, I know because, you know, I just don't want to think, and I don't want to paint with broad brushes. I mean, there's some, you know, movie directors or just, you know, whatever, just novelists and, you know, board game developers, whatever it is, you know, out there that that's the thing. It has to have some sort of major foreshadowing, or it has to be a certain type of foreshadowing. And I just don't subscribe to that theory. I just feel like, you know, if it calls for it, and whether it be somewhat minor, maybe more major because of what happens later, and so you just want it's more obscure later on, so you want the upfront to be a little bit more of a giveaway, but not a total giveaway, if that makes sense. And, so I like it, but I you know, I do feel that it has to be kind of
situational.
It's situational and just kind of minor and just sort of drip it in, and you know, I'm big on some of those twists and stuff. So even if I use it, you know, majorly or to a huge degree, you can bet your bottom dollar that with my stories, there's going to be something that, you know, foreshadowing or not, there's going to be something along the way that just like a snake coils, and all of a sudden it's just turning around and going back the other way. And
yeah,
oh, I really thought it was this guy, and now it's her, or you know, whatever. So
well, I think for me, like foreshadowing is when it's really good, it's amazing, right? But again, foreshadowing is one of those things where it gets you to go back and reread or rewatch. My favorite piece of foreshadowing, and I did not realize it until way later and felt so stupid for not seeing it the first time around, is in Game of Thrones. I mean, at the beginning of the Game of Thrones, they find a dire wolf that has been, gutted by a stag. Right. And it's like, literally, that's like the first book, like right there. Oh my God, and I didn't catch that until I went back and reread the book like a few years later, because I'd read the whole series, and then like Feast for Crows came out or something, whatever. A new book came out, and I was like, I'm going to read the whole thing, and like build back up to it. And then I read it, and I was just like, oh my God, it's right there. It was there the whole time.
Yeah, sometimes it just kind of slaps you right in the face, and you just like, you're sitting there like with egg on your face at the end, going, oh my God.
And I'm sure there's plenty of people that saw that coming, but I didn't. I was just so enwrapped in the story, like I'm not even paying attention. I wasn't even thinking about it like that. And like, because go on.
Well, I was just gonna say some of those obvious things too, like, seemingly obvious, I guess, or it's obvious after the fact. But like my wife mentioned earlier, we were talking about the upcoming show tonight and everything. I was talking about some of my favorite top 5 movies with twists, and it just came up like, Return of the Jedi with the whole, I'm your father or whatever, and it's just like, it literally means, I think in German,
Darth Vader's father.
Like
yeah. It's like,
so I mean, I think it's pronounced differently, but still, it's like, okay, it's kind of like literally right there.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's just sort of those things that they're obvious, but they're also obscure at the same time. I don't know.
Sure. That works. Yeah, I mean, so Carlos again, and I think this is kind of what we were just talking about. How does knowing a twist already coming affect the first time viewing? I think it goes 2 ways. I think if you know there's a twist coming, it kind of just depends on the movie or the book. Like I went with I tried to go with some movies that it's like maybe not a shocker that there's a plot twist. If you were like, everybody go watch Barley and Me, but stay for the plot twist. Like, what? You're going to watch that whole movie waiting for the plot twist, and you're like,
Marley and I.
Yes. But and I think when you go into some directors, there's going to be a plot twist, right? Like Shyamalan or Hitchcock or stuff like that.
Twist? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I just think like anything, I think it's going to be up to everybody's personal experience and what they're into. I try to go like pretty spoiler free on stuff. I get really mad at movie trailers that give me basically the whole movie.
Right.
Like I don't ever, whenever I'm watching a TV show and they're like next on, I turn it off immediately. I don't want.
Yeah. On the next episode of, it's like, I don't want to know.
I don't want any, don't give me anything, like, cause we watch the reality show, The Traitors, it's like on Peacock, and they always do this next on, or coming this season on Traitors. And it's like, no, because I'm inevitably seeing people that aren't there. Right. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, they're not there. So I know that they're out of the game by then, or they're out of the game, or they're still in the game. Like, I don't want to know any of that. Let me just watch it unfold. I don't need that. Like, but that's my opinion and my experience with it.
Sometimes, I mean, and I'm just speaking for, the Killer Machine, but, even just, being a viewer and a lover of certain movies and things, sometimes the twist is that there isn't a twist,
Right.
And I know that sounds kind of silly, but sometimes that's, you have a certain director or a certain, author or something like that, and they're always kind of known for something. They're like, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna not.
That's the twist.
And then you're looking for the twist, and then you don't get the twist. So
right.
I go back to like with that foreshadowing question. It's kind of situational. I think it depends on how the story's developed, and there's just a lot of different factors that go into whether there even is one or how big of a twist it is, that kind of thing.
Sure. And then, Carlos asked, speaking of Shyamalan, he has this association with the twist endings. Has that helped or harmed the device in cinema? I think the problem with Shyamalan is that he has sort of outkicked his coverage at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I think early on, in my opinion, it was really neat. It was really inventive. And I don't know if it's because maybe it's sort of like a George Lucas situation where he doesn't have other people telling him no,
No.
and like, you know, trying to like streamline some stuff down to sort of like help, you know, rein it in a little bit, or if it's just that he's out of good ideas, because I don't think it's like it's played out, because I could still go back and watch his first 3 movies and love every minute of them, you know, and have a great time. Where some of the more recent movies, and you know, once you get kind of past that, for me personally, I'm very much just like, ugh, you know, and I think that that's why I think I can justify that, because I feel like his earlier stuff was really good and really well done and really tight, and then it just kind of got, for me, it got looser and goofier and but that's my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I think feel like the last couple have been, somewhat of a miss in my book. Some of the more the later stuff, the more recent things. But yeah, I mean that is kind of it's a good point. I mean, because it is a risk. I mean, if that's literally what you're known for,
Right.
I mean, I like to have certain twists and things like that, but I feel like with mine, I mean, gosh, it plays out. I mean, especially the subscription series that I have. I mean, you got 5 boxes. As long as you don't cancel, and you keep on going, and there's objectives, and there's just so many different characters and different things going on that I can really kind of sneak things in. I can have it be maybe more of a minor character at times. Sometimes it is the obvious person. I mean, it just really depends on how that story's playing out. But like in his situation, from a writing, directing, I mean, in those movies, it's you're just kind of looking for it, and I don't know. I mean, I guess unless you put, maybe if you have like a wide, cast of suspects or something, or
Mm-hmm.
shady people or whatever, maybe you can get away with certain things because you just, somebody's gonna guess it right from the start, but not everyone, So
That's true. So I have
yeah.
2 questions for you then, just regarding sort of stuff you like or don't like. So one, just exactly what you were just talking about, a wide list of characters and some stuff like that. Do you like the Knives Out movies, or have you seen them?
Uh, yeah, I have. I mean, I have kind of a love hate because I mean, although I feel like the storyline's cool and it's it's kind of harkens back to some of that classical whodunit type stuff, just with a little bit more of a modern take on it, I guess you might say. Sometimes when you get just so many different people, I mean, it gets a little convoluted, and that's just my honest opinion. Not everyone's going to agree. I think sometimes you kind of have to do it because if you have you know, 2 viable suspects, flip a
Sure.
coin. I mean, come on, that's how real thrilling is that.
Right.
So I do know. I don't know that there's a magic number of okay, 6 total people. That could be or 8 or 10 or 20. I don't know, but I think that I try to keep those numbers somewhat reasonable, I guess you might say. But
Mm-hmm.
again, a movie, a couple hours in a movie, compared to what I have, it might be apples and oranges because like I said, I've got sort of an episode type situation going on where situations might change from box to box or episode to episode. But yeah, I guess I know that was a long-winded answer, but it is a love
Nope.
hate. I don't
That's
dislike
fine.
them. There's certain parts of that where there's so many different people and so many different suspects and things that it could kind of get a little, I don't know, a little long in the tooth, I guess.
That's fair. I love them. I can't wait for the next one. I know they got another one coming soon.
Yeah, yeah,
I love him, but I also am a big fan of that director. So I like his style
true.
and
Yeah,
everything. But
that's true. That's
but
true.
again, right? Like we've all got things we like and dislike and everything. And then the
Yeah,
other question I have, as far as like mysteries go, now I'm going to walk it the other way.
yeah.
So a TV show that I love, well, used to love, and have gone back and rewatched some a bunch of them, is the old Columbo episode, like, show.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You
So
are old.
I know, right? But so
We're
Columbo,
showing our age here. We're showing our age.
no doubt. So Columbo, just in case people don't know, the interesting thing about Columbo is there's a murder, right, or a crime that happens, but you see it happen and you know who did it, and then the whole show is just watching Peter Falk figure it out, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
he solves it and like what
Yeah.
gives it away to him. And so that's like a totally different take on the mystery, right?
Right,
Because
right.
because most mysteries you're just, this happened, you have the point of view of the character that is walking in to solve the mystery,
Right,
uh,
right.
so how do you feel about mysteries like that, or Columbo, or things like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I used to watch some of those, and I agree. I think that's a cool take on it. Again, I know, I might sound like a broken record, but that versus kind of what I have going on is kind of, a little bit of an apples and oranges, just simply because,
Oh,
one,
totally,
I
yeah.
mean, I gotta have you doing an activity. I gotta have you trying to figure it
Well, no,
out
it
from my
doesn't do us
perspective.
any good if you tell me in the first envelope who killed,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, right.
but I
But I
just,
mean,
as a mystery fan, I was just kind of curious as to, like,
yeah. No, I mean, look, any time you have sort of that kind of classic thing, just the murder mystery, just general category, and then someone kind of comes along and just does something a little bit different, where, like you said, you know who it is right away, but then it's the deduction process of how he figures it out, and either way, there's still something fun or interesting or intriguing or exciting to it,
mhm.
overall. So it's just a different type of intriguing, rather than following the clues to figure out, okay, take a stab at it, pun intended.
Yeah.
Who did it? So yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, like I said, that's in a sense that's what I try to do with Killer Mystery. Is that you know obviously murder mystery is well known, but I just wanted to switch it up a little bit and say, okay, well, instead of, because like I said, in some of my research, some of the games I've played personally, even before I even had the idea to come up with the company or anything, I just played them, and it's not that they weren't fun, but I just thought, I'm a role play. I'm the typical detective. I gotta kind of bail this person out, help this person figure this out, and follow clues. And it's not uncool. It's not unexciting. It's not uninteresting. I don't know. To me, I wanted. It's partly because of my own, like, just love of kind of movies and books, and the story and the narrative part of it.
Mhm.
Is where I wanted to kind of hit this thing with, no, you're not really the detective. But you are playing the game. If you want to call yourself the detective in my game, go right ahead. I don't care.
Right.
But it's just like we don't designate you as that. It's almost more like a book or a movie or a series or something kind of like really cool and twists and interesting and intriguing, like kind of like right in front of you. And you feel like the answer's kind of right there, but like you said, playing with your family and stuff, like just going along, and you think you got it. Now wait a minute, now there's this other thing that happened that might change the whole scenario.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to do, just versus the typical detective kind of hunt the clues down type of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Carlos, we'll use this question to lead into our list tonight. But do you remember your first plot twist? He said, was Soylent Green, then followed by the Twilight Zone. I
Yeah,
think you could pick any Twilight Zone episode, right? And the twist in a,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah, I was
I,
gonna say. I mean, probably for me, just being, well, I don't know what year did Twilight Zone first originally. Yeah, it was a
oh,
long
dude,
time
that's
ago, I
like
guess. But
early 60s.
yeah, but even as a kid in the '80s, I'm dating myself here, but I mean, I would just watch some of the episodes, and those are probably some of my earliest memories of just kind of like just crazy, bizarre, twisty,
Oh, yeah, man.
alternate universe. Like it's like before the Matrix is out. It's like the Matrix before the Matrix kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Twilight Zone was amazing for that, for sure.
Never
yeah,
really watched it.
Oh my God, it's so good. Those old episodes they still hold up, man. There's
oh,
some good
they really
stuff in
mess
there.
with you.
They do, man. They
Yeah,
do.
they get you thinking.
Some of them are really upsetting too. I mean, and
Yeah,
even like
yeah,
recently, like I love Black Mirror, and that's kind of like today's Twilight Zone. And
right,
Yeah.
right.
some of those, I tend to like the ones that are more like sci-fi horror, stuff,
Right.
personally. But
Yeah.
there's a there's a couple episodes here and there that just absolutely gut me, though, emotionally. You're just like, oh. And Twilight Zone was always good for that. Twilight Zone
Yeah.
was always good for that.
Yeah.
um I'll just say, because I've talked about it before, but it's one of the first Twilight Zone episodes that I remember seeing, and it's a board game that I have based on it, like funny, in a funny way, and it was called How to Serve Man, and it was these aliens show up to Earth, and they're like peaceful, and they're giving us all of technology and everything's great. And these people are going up on the spaceship and they're like, yay. And then somebody figures out that the book, that they have, like, that is How to Serve Man, is actually a recipe book. And like, they're grabbing people to then cook them and prepare them as a delicacy.
Right.
And it's like, that's the twist, you have these, what you thought were these like really ambivalent aliens, and it's just really this sinister undertone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Carlos hit it on the head too with Soylent Green.
Oh, Soylent Green's amazing.
It's been years since I've actually seen that, but I mean, man,
I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
This is a crazy plot.
Man, it was when Charlton Heston was just cranking out like end of the world, post-apocalyptic movies. Yeah. Stuff, yeah. Another amazing Twilight Zone episode, and then I'll stop talking about them, is there's one called The Monsters on Maple Street, I believe. And that's like it's like this one block, right, of people, this neighborhood. And the lights, the power goes out on one side of the street. And so the people come out and they're like, well, why do they have power and we don't have power? And then they're kind of accusing each other of things. And then the power goes out over there and then it comes on over here. And they're like, so everybody starts accusing each other of things, and like all these aggressions and like things that the problems they had start coming to the surface. And everybody is, by the end, is like at each other's throats and ready to kind of, kill each other. And then you find out that it's just like aliens from space manipulating it to get humanity to basically wipe itself out so that they can walk right in. And so the monsters were us all along.
It's funny how no matter what genre, I mean, there is like, it's almost like some social commentary slipped in, at times, like we can be our own worst enemies, and like, that was kind of like the thing the whole time that we didn't realize or whatever.
Oh yeah. And then the Burgess Meredith episode where he just wants to read the whole time, and and then the end of the world happens. He was like in the bank vault or whatever, and he comes out, but then he's got all that time to read, but then he breaks his glasses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking,
But all right. Were there any rules for our list tonight? Did you guys have any rules or anything you wanted to stick to or highlight?
No.
Okay.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
So, go on. What were we going to say, Bob?
Well, I will say that most of mine are 20 plus years old. So I will probably go into a little bit of the twisty twists of them. If you haven't seen them by now, after I say the title, you may want to la 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 la. But most of these, I'm sure people know by now.
This will be a very important episode for timestamps for people watching it later.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's true. That's very
but yeah, I'll just say that I have a lot of sort of older movies. There's one or two newer ones, but for the most part, I won't spoil them unless people in the comments kind of know about them. But I will also say, hey, I am going to start talking about the twist in it now before I ruin it. So,
yeah, that's fine. All
right. Anything for you, Jason? Anything special, or you want to caveats?
Yeah, I'll just try to throw out a quick warning maybe before I spill the plot or whatever, in case maybe somebody hasn't seen it yet.
Sure. So Bob is going to start first.
Yep.
Because he always goes first. Then me. Then Jason. And Mike's not here to look bored while we talk about movies, so it'll be a great show.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Should be awesome.
Wait, I'll work on my resting bitch face.
Carlos had a good idea. Raise a finger when talking about a spoiler and then put it down when we're done. Carlos, I like that idea, sir. Yeah, that's a great idea.
We got to hire this guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good people, obviously.
Yeah, clearly. He shows up every week. He's already good people, but he's also got great ideas.
Yeah, it's double whammy there,
Right?
All right, so without further ado, so my number 5 came out. I guess I did pull it up. It came out on October 20th, but it didn't have the date listed on there, the year. But it is. How do I share now? I believe it is. Wait for it. The Prestige.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so I really liked this movie when it came out. Kind of like Tricarion. I haven't played it yet, but I hear it's very kind of similar to that, where you're just trying to do the tricks and whatnot. But these two magicians are kind of just going back and forth, trying to outdo each other. And Twisty Twist.
Oh, hold that finger up. Spoiler.
Yeah. So one of the guys is doing the make myself appear and reappear over here. Well, one dude's a twin. And the other guy is making clones of himself with the help of Nikola Tesla and killing his other clone so as to not have two of himself walking around. And it's just a
keep that finger up. Oh, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done with the spoiler part. But no,
Okay.
it's a fantastic movie. It's I'm not sure like what year it was.
2005 or 6.
No,
what year it takes place in?
Yeah, it takes place like a while ago. I'm trying to get.
So if Tesla was alive, it was the 30s or so.
Yeah, early 1900s. But there's some really good actors in it. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's in it, so there's a win. But it's just a great movie. And if you haven't watched it, you really should. I found it super enjoyable, and I was very surprised by what happens.
Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson, Hugh Jackman. Fantastic cast.
Great.
Yep.
Oh yeah, David Bowie also. Right. Good job. Yeah, he was great. He was great. Solid cast. Really good. Really good movie. The book's good too. Because I'm a nerd.
See, I don't read books because books ruin movies.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
My whole thing for that. All
right. Okay, let's go with an old one. Let's go with an oldie but a goodie. I'm going to talk about Planet of the Apes. So this is an like what, 60s, 1967, 68.
68.
Yeah, I had it. I said 68. But yeah, Charlton Heston, Roddy McDowell, and Charlton Heston's an astronaut with his crew. They go up into space, blah blah blah. Stuff happens, and when they crash land, they on a distant world. The whole planet is apes, and basically none of the humans can talk because they're all like basically devolved right into like almost like caveman society. And hey, quit showing spoilers there, Bob.
That was on the movie poster. So what am I supposed to do?
Not show it. Anyways, spoilers for Planet of the Apes. They go through some kind of time warp. They hit
these movies.
They hit the future, and the whole thing is that the humanity destroyed themselves, and the apes have taken over. I will also just say that because this is technically a spoiler, if you watch like Dawn and Rise and any of the new updated Planet of the Apes movies, which are all excellent, you already know that it's Earth. But if you watch that old one, that blew people's minds. That blew people's minds when you saw the Statue of Liberty on the beach.
Also, if you've seen Spaceballs, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, that too. It's actually, I will say I knew the ending to Planet of the Apes because I saw Spaceballs first. I was like, oh, nice. That's from Spaceballs.
As it should be.
Right.
All right. Sweet.
All right. So you want me to jump in with my number 5, I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. Do we need to destroy Josh for this comment? This is terrible. Tim Burton's was not better. Oh, God. Anything with Mark Wahlberg is bad. I'm just going to put that out there.
I didn't know Johnny Depp was in a Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah, haha. Helena Bonham Carter was though. So
was she?
Yeah,
that's funny.
They're always in the same stuff.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5. I don't know if I want to get too much in the plot. It's just so cool. I just want people to sort of experience it for themselves. Maybe I'll just give it a little bit. But Identity.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing this in theater. John Cusack.
03, I think it was.
I saw this in the theater.
Oh yeah, John Cusack.
And gosh, Ray Liotta, I think.
Yeah, I think Ray Liotta's in it too. Yep.
Amanda Peet and a few others. I mean, it's a pretty rock solid cast for the time. But essentially, I mean,
there you go. Hold that finger up. You got to hold it up the whole time.
Sorry. So basically, it's you essentially find out that this I guess, mental patient / criminal was, there's this whole movie playing out with, I'll probably butcher it because it's been a while since I've seen it, but different characters, like John Cusack's a character and so on and so forth. They didn't really exist. They were just kind of like figments of
his multiple personalities.
Oh yeah.
He's killing off. They're killing off multiple personalities. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out which personality is the killing personality.
Right. So it's kind of a deduction thing, but anyway. So yeah, really cool. Very, very twisty. Yeah.
This was one that I figured. I don't want to say I figured out, but I knew I'll just say I knew who the killer was about halfway through, but I was enjoying the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you figure it out and you're still just kind of going along with it because it's just so fun,
Right. Because I got to the point where I was just kind of like, well, let's pick, because sometimes when you watch these kind of movies and they throw such hard stuff at you that it's like, okay, so who's the least likely person? I'm just going to ride with that. And like, let's just see if they have the balls to go for it. That, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then if they do, it's like, awesome, So when I say figured it out, I guessed it, was pleasantly surprised that I guessed it, but again, enjoyed the ride, thought the twist was fun.
Yeah.
And I did have that written down. So boom. Perfect. All right, Hoop.
Double point.
All right, that's me. Oh, come on, mouse, work with me here.
Hey, can you ban Josh from talking about how good The Happening is, please?
Yeah, hold on. I'll kick him. I have all the
Don't kick him.
authorities.
Don't kick him. I want him back on the show again sometime.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I just want to chastise him.
Okay. Shame. I don't have my bell. My shame bell.
Just a lifetime ban, no big deal.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that's gonna take us down then to number 4. My number 4, I mean, I guess it's kind of cliche-ish. Everybody knows this movie. I'm pretty sure everybody probably knows the twist already, but it was a great movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fight Club. You can't really talk about twists without talking about Fight Club. I think it was just super well done. Speaking of Helen Bonham Carter.
David Fincher. Come on. He's a master.
Yeah. So just, I mean, if you haven't seen Fight Club, this guy, we can't talk about it because you're not supposed to talk about Fight Club. So I guess I can kind of leave it at that. I think most people, though, like I said, know what the twist is. I won't get into it too much, but they do make a lot of soap in that movie. And you can find out a way to make soap by watching that movie. Works great on bloodstains. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Fight Club yet, like, you've probably heard all your friends talk about it, and you should.
And that means they're violating the rule of Fight Club.
This is true, but jump in it. It's a good movie. It's a fun ride, and you got Bitch Tit Bob in there. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler.
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Well, sure. Yep. But check out Fight Club. It's definitely worth all the hype that your friends have put on it. So
I will tell you, this was the second movie that I went to see in the theaters like 5 times. Like, because the first time I saw it, I was like, right? And then I had to go back and watch it again, knowing what I know. And then it's like, I still didn't catch everything. And then I went back and watched it again. And then I was telling friends about it. And then I was going to see it with them. The movie before that, which was the first time I went and saw a movie like 5 times in the theater, that's why that number is specific, was Pulp Fiction. Because again, right, the non-linear aspect of Pulp Fiction, which I guess technically could be a twist. I apologize. I might have stepped on somebody's list. But Fight Club is amazing. And it is such a fun takedown of like the misogyny, you know what I mean? Like, and just of all the meatball, guys running around out there that I love to hate.
You making fun of my sparring partner?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, again, great cast though. Ed Norton, Brad Pitt, Helena Bonham Carter, Jared Leto's in there. I mean, there's a lot of good actors in there.
Yeah, a lot of good actors in there. Going real quick to your 5 times in the theater. The only thing I've ever seen 5 times in the theater was The Fifth Element. And so, yeah.
Did you actually see that 5 times in the theater?
Drive-in.
Hell yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Great movie.
I just got my stereo system and everything, and so that
Mm.
came out, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like,
That's
and
a
it was
great movie for that.
The VHS, the DVD, the Blu-ray, the 4K, and the digital.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Trevor, I've never seen Charade.
Oh, me either.
I wrote
If
it
you're gonna
down.
type about it, hold your finger up.
Yeah, I wrote it down, so I'm gonna look at that. Jazz, you're young. You just need to watch Fight Club.
I don't have my comments pulled up here. Let me see here. Never actually seen Fight Club. Don't hate me. I don't hate you.
No, all you've got to do now is just watch it.
It's
like
true.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Not that hard.
It's not.
We're giving you a fun job to do.
That's right.
Right?
Homework. Write it down.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with a newer-ish movie. I believe it is like 2011, 2012. And Jason, I'm interested to hear your opinion because I think this movie can be divisive with some people. But I am a horror fan, and this movie it was everything I wanted in a horror movie. And I'm talking about Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. I love this movie.
I loved this movie. It was really funny. It's got some great gore and some great monsters and some great effects. Now I will hold my finger up because the amazing twist on Cabin in the Woods is that and this will piss people off. This is the meta take on horror that I wanted. I hate with a passion, with every piece of my soul. I hate the Scream franchise so much. And I know everybody loves how it's a meta commentary on horror, blah, blah, blah. This is the meta commentary on horror that I wanted because it is all orchestrated by this mysterious company that they never actually explain. And they are basically, it is a way to sacrifice people to appease the great old ones so that they don't come back and destroy the universe. And and not only is it just this one, but they're all over the world so that just in case somebody figures one out, you know what I mean? And they
have a lot of instances going on.
They avert the catastrophe, you know, like those little Japanese school kids, you know, then, you know, they've got all these like contingency plans, right? And it does such a great job of like, oh, here's the virgin, here's the, you know, the nerd, here's this guy, right?
All the cliches.
And the way that they even force those people to fit those cliches so that they will behave accordingly is so fun and interesting. I loved this movie. I was blown away by the spoiler, you know, the twist on it. I did not expect a twist, honestly. I just went to see a horror movie that, you know, was produced by Joss Whedon, who we didn't know was an asshole at the time. And I was like, you know, all in for it, ready to go. So I will lower my finger. Cabin in the Woods. I had a great time with it. I even have a book on like the making of it, and it's got like the whole script, and it's got you know, a bunch of stuff in there.
Not super spoiler, but I got into this debate at work because I was talking to the guys about this topic, and I brought this movie up, and he was like, "Well, that's not really a spoiler. Everybody knows kind of like what's going on there." And I was like, "Right, but that whole why they're doing it is kind of the spoiler.
That's
you know,
the twist,
kind of like the twisty twist." And he's like, "Not really." And I was like, "Whatever."
No, they're wrong. They're wrong.
Yeah,
they're wrong. That's the twist. I thought it was
to their opinion, even when it's the wrong one.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I thought I was going to watch a takedown of like the Evil Dead movies, and it was that, but it was so much more in a very fun and wonderful way. Yeah. And I say that as a fan of the OG Evil Dead movies and the newest one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, look, you know, when it's well done and there is a cool twist and there's, you know, you're having fun with it, and they're kind of maybe doing something that, you know, perhaps was done, but maybe not to this level, or maybe wasn't done at all. I mean, that's always going to be a hit because, you know, you're switching it up and you're making it unique and fun and interesting.
Yeah, no, this is one of my favorite movies of the past 20 years. It's one of my favorite horror movies. I just think it was really well done. So.
It's definitely one of the better ones.
Sweet.
All right. Okay, I'm up, I guess. My number 4 is, I know you guys have had to have seen this, I'm sure, Secret Window.
Oh yeah, I read this. Read this story. You stole
Yeah.
my story. John Turturro, Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Let's go.
great. Again, great cast and great, just cool story. Basically, it's well, hold the finger up.
There we go.
So pretty much, it's told by what is it? I guess first person, right?
Yes, an unreliable narrator, right?
Yeah, and it's him the whole time basically, but he's got the what is it? Dissociative personality disorder.
Yeah, something like that.
Where,
Yeah, one of those
like
things.
he doesn't even realize he's doing it, or that kind of thing.
Right.
Like he doesn't even realize he's doing the bad things, and he's the killer, or maybe he does, but he just doesn't admit it to himself or whatever. But he's definitely kind of off his rocker, and you don't really. It's just a creepy feel to it the whole time, and you kind of don't really know what's going. You kind of know what's going on, but you don't. And it's just sort of bouncing you around, but it's a cool story, and it's a tight story. And then, toward the end is when, of course, the big reveal that it's really him that's the problem or the killer, and there wasn't really these other people, or it's figments of his imagination, and he's the one actually doing the killing or whatever. So it's kind of somewhat along those lines of identity, I guess, with that. Whatever it's, I guess, the technical disassociative personality.
Well, and the trick is you don't cheat, right? Like nobody, if you go back and you rewatch it, nobody interacts, right?
Yeah.
With the Turturro character. It's also like Fight Club to another degree, right? Nobody ever actually interacts with the Brad Pitt character, which is amazing.
Right. True.
So you're like, what? Because you're like, I swear to God, and then you go back and rewatch it and you're like, nope.
Yeah. Well, and again, just take killers. I mean, I'm a sucker for things that just kind of keep you guessing,
Yeah. Yep. I enjoyed that story quite a bit, and I remember seeing the movie in theaters as well. So yeah, it's
solid.
Sweet.
Down to 3.
All right. That's going to take us down to, wait for it. 3. All right. Uh-oh, I got an ad popped up. Go away, ads. My number 3. Another. I love Bruce Willis. He's a good actor. And I thought one of his better movies was. Why not? Oops, I hit the wrong button. That's why. Lucky Number 11.
Oh, I enjoyed this movie. I just watched this movie again like a month ago.
No kidding. Oh yeah.
Josh Hartnett,
this movie's great. It's a good.
Ben Kingsley, Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
it's got a really good cast to it, and I did not see that coming.
Lucy Liu, right?
Yeah, you get to the end, and so Bruce Willis is like this hitman, and he's supposed to kill this dude and his son because he owes this guy money, but then he gets there and he can't kill the kid because he's a kid, so he takes him, under his wing, kind of thing, and he grows up, and first time you really see him though, he's older, and he's in this dude's apartment, and he gets taken, and he's kind of works against the guy that scheduled his dad to get hired to hit, right? And it's just a great way to kind of like get that payback for this guy, for his dad dying. And I don't know, I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. And like when I was, because like a lot of these movies and these lists and stuff, like I'll just Google it, see what all is out there, and be like, oh yeah, because just kind of coming up with it, I have a hard time doing that. And when I saw this guy pop up there, and I was like, oh yeah, that does have a really good twist at the end.
It's a huge twist, right?
Yeah, and what was that? The Kansas City Shuffle, the scenes of him at the airport, and it's like you look left and you look right and you're not there, and it's great. There was a time, 10:30. No, not what time is it? There was a time,
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Lucky Number 11, I really recommend it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is really fun and intimidating. Is sort of like that silent, that real quiet, stoic hitman kind of character. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Jackal. I mean, he's good in that too. Even though it's a weird movie.
I don't want to step on anybody's lists, but have you guys seen Last Man Standing?
Yes.
That's another Bruce Willis movie. Is that on your list?
No.
Okay.
No. No.
Okay. There's a good twist on that one, but that's a really fun Bruce Willis, like just working people movie. But okay, yeah, well, I'll take my finger down now. Yeah, good pick. I enjoyed this movie. I thought this had some fun twists.
Haven't seen it in a while.
I literally just rewatched this like pretty recently because I was like, I remember liking this. I wonder if I still do. And I did.
I remember like when it came out, because like the first 20 minutes or so, he spends it in his towel, and Lucy Liu was talking about like how basically she had to act with him like while he's in a towel for like hours on end. You know?
Right.
So yeah.
I will say that the more that I've gone back and watched some movies from that era, the more I kind of feel like Lucy Liu's not that great of an actress.
She's not that great of an actress.
I don't think I minded her or noticed at the time, but going back and watching, I'm like,
Yep, 2006. Yeah, most of mine are around the 2000s, 2010, I guess. So.
Oh, who is an actor or an actress that everyone associates with plot twists? I mean, I'll name one that nobody will say, because it's a classic Hollywood actor, and that is Peter Lorre, from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I mean, he was in like a bunch of, like Maltese Falcon and movies like that, and Dial M for Murder, and M, Arsenic and Old Lace. He's in a bunch of those kind of things. But anybody else have an actor or an actress that they associate with plot twists?
Man.
And if you don't know who Peter Lorre is, you do if you ever saw like Looney Tunes cartoons, because they always made fun of him or like mimicked him. Oh, yes, boss. Yeah. Oh, sure, boss. That's what Peter Lorre sounded like.
Oh, he's old.
Oh, yeah. He's long gone, dude. 30s and 40s, like I said.
I would throw out, I mean, maybe it might seem like a silly answer, but what about M. Night Shyamalan? Doesn't he star in every, or I mean,
either his voice or he shows up. So yeah, if you see Shyamalan in a movie,
pretty much you already know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess like Bruce Willis was technically in a lot of the movies that I talk about having plot twists, but I don't necessarily associate him with that. He just happens to be in a bunch of the movies.
And I forgot Peter Lorre was in Casablanca too. I mean, Peter Lorre was in everything that was anything back then. He was
died at 60 years old.
He was a weird looking, like kind of slimy dude, but he was an amazing actor and just in great stuff and very memorable, but very cool. I love Peter Lorre. He is one of my favorite like actors, classic actors.
Okay.
All right. Is it my number 3 now?
It is your number 3 already.
Oh my gosh. I've got so many movies to talk about. I'm going to go with the most recent one. Because then I can get it off my list and I don't have to look at it anymore, because it's the one it's the craziest one on my list as well. So, and this director has a new movie coming out this fall. So, which just tells you got to go see it, because this movie, if you like horror movies with twists, is a must watch. And I'm going to talk about Barbarian. Has anybody watched Barbarian yet?
I've seen it.
2022.
Yeah. Skarsgård, Justin Long. I forget who.
I like Justin Long.
Yeah, the main actress is. So this is no spoiler. The start of Barbarian, the girl shows up to like an Airbnb, and she can't get in, and it's basically like been double booked. And it has been, the person that is already in there is Skarsgård. I forget which one is it? It's not Stellan. Is it Alexander? No, it's the one who played Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård. He's the one who played Pennywise. So you're already like, this dude played Pennywise. Like, this isn't cool. Like, he's the guy in the house already. And so immediately you're like, what the hell is going on? And I will tell you that 15, 20 minutes into this movie, the twists go insane. And I'm not even going to hold my finger up and like spoil anything about this. Bob, have you seen this yet? You need to watch this freaking movie. And that's why I won't talk about it, because I don't want to ruin it for you. This movie is so tense as you are trying to figure out what is going on and who is the villain, who's the bad guy, what is happening.
Oof.
But there's an
mustache on Justin Long.
Dude. The only other
right there.
Yeah, no doubt. All I will say is that there's an Airbnb. It's been double booked for some reason. And there's a weird room in the basement. That's all I'm going to say. And that's all you need to know going into this movie. It is absolutely batshit crazy, bananas. And I cannot wait to watch Weapons, which is this director's newest movie coming out. But Barbarian is a 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love this movie, start to finish. I never knew what was going to happen, because everything, like, you're like, oh, you thought this? Okay, well, now this, and now this. There's so many twists. Even just saying that there's a twist to Barbarian does not spoil it, because do not relax after that first twist. Because there's so much more going on. Anyways, I loved this movie what?
Streaming it? I was going to ask if it was streaming on anything right now.
I mean, back in the when it was on HBO Max. I don't know where you can watch it now, but
I have an app for that.
Yeah.
Literally tells me everything it's streaming on.
Yeah, that Weapons looks really good too. So,
dude, it's
all the kids
Fubo.
in the middle of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
On Fubo.
Yeah, and I don't want to watch any more trailers for it than what I've seen. Like, I don't want to know anything else. I just want to go in with the weird random stuff that they show me. Like, I don't want anything. I just don't want to know. I don't want anything spoiled. I just want it all fresh when I go. Because I feel like I went into Barbarian cold, like completely cold, knew nothing about it. And I'm really glad I did. I think that enhanced my experience with it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Bob, it's on Hulu as well, if you got Hulu.
What? Not right now, it's not.
Where to watch? Hulu.
Why doesn't it say that on my little app I got here?
Because your app is bullshit. There it is. I'm looking at it right now on Hulu.
This is the most controversial thing all night, I think. Where to see this movie.
It's on Hulu.
Why is it not letting me log in?
Don't watch it now, Bob.
What? Why not?
I mean,
the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. All right, Jason. While Bob looks confused at his phone, why don't you tell us your number 3?
All right, I'm going to go with, I alluded to it earlier, but the whole Darth Vader thing, right? I mean, it's just, it's literally the German word. I think it's pronounced differently, but for father or whatever. So I think it's technically Return of the Jedi, right?
It is Empire Strikes Back, sir.
Empire Strikes Back.
I wasn't going to correct you when you were talking about it earlier to be polite, but now that we're in the official lists, you have to go with Empire. I will correct you.
And I think it's 1980, right? 1980, I think.
80 was Empire 80. Empire might have been 80, and then Jedi was 80.
Jedi was like
1980.
Yeah. No, Jedi was 82 or 83, right?
Oh, it's earlier. Yeah, I had it later.
Return of the Jedi was after.
Yeah, if you want the twist from Jedi, it's that Leia's Luke's sister.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta have the kiss first, though.
They gotta make out a bunch first.
Well, and I didn't bother to, even though I completely got the wrong movie, I guess technically, but I didn't bother to hold my finger up because it's like, oh my god.
If you haven't seen Star Wars yet, just leave the chat.
I'm not that worried about spoiling Empire, but what's funny though, Jason, is I did write down Empire Strikes Back because at the time that was an epic twist.
I mean, back then it was just like, hey, it's also, pre-smartphone and streaming and all these things, so you just kind of like had to go and just see it, and, I mean, there's always maybe some friend that spoils it or, goes and sees it before you and then tells you or something. There's a special spot in hell for those people, obviously, but Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of a different time, right? You just had to like go check it out, and you couldn't just like pull up Google or whatever and be like, "What's the deal with this movie?" you know.
Right.
So,
Right. 100%, man. 100%. No,
so
I think that's a great. I think it's a great pick because I mean I had it written down.
Yeah, me too. That's one of my so
yeah,
It was at worst going to be an honorable mention.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
right.
one of the ones I actually
Right.
came up with without having looked them up.
Well, and again, right? This is it's kind of like we talked about Soylent Green earlier. Like this is the one of the most famous twists in cinema history.
Right.
I mean, you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. That's the moment.
Yeah,
Search your feelings.
you know it to be true.
That's right.
I am your father. You got to say it right because everybody says it wrong. It's not
I'll
Luke.
never divorce with you.
Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like everybody says that, but it's not.
That's not what they say, right?
Yeah, one of the most commonly misquoted quotes.
Yeah, I mean, again, they talked about Casablanca earlier. There's one from there too. But the fun thing, fun little trivia thing about Empire is that Mark Hamill didn't know when they delivered the line, so the reaction was genuine.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Are you looking down there? What I'm typing in?
No. I was just saying I was just saying no to what Mark Hamill said when
I got you.
Vader said, "I'm your father."
Bella, stop.
She's not gonna. What are you typing in? Are you trying to look up the correct line?
No, I'm getting mine prepped because I got to do all the other little clickety clacks too. So
Well, you better clickety clack on to number 2, sir.
All right. So my number 2, we were asked earlier what the first, twist type of movie.
Yeah.
That we saw. The first one that sorry, Bella, you are just too much for me today. This movie here, I knew nothing about it going in. Started watching it, and I'm thinking it's about one thing the whole time. Then all of a sudden, it totally twists and turns.
Oh, hell yes. Why did I not even think of this, Bob? This is amazing. This is so good.
Dude. So like I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an awesome movie about this bank robbery, that's got some like sweet George Clooney, like it's got one of the best shit talk moments in there when he's got the hostage and he's like, don't you ever try and fucking run on me because I have 6 little friends and they can all run faster
than you.
Oh, it's so good.
Everybody be cool. You be cool. Yeah.
But yeah. I'm sure the whole movie was written just so that Quentin Tarantino could suck Salma Hayek's toes.
It's fine. If I was Quentin Tarantino, I would put Salma Hayek in a movie where she's dancing like she's dancing in that as well. I'd do that today. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's still great looking. But okay, I guess spoiler.
Okay, hold the finger up.
It's right here. They are making their getaway to Mexico, and they're waiting for their rendezvous at this nightclub. And
the titty twister.
At the titty twister, they got apple pie pussy. They got
pussy.
Yeah, if you can find pussy for cheaper anywhere else, fuck it, right?
Cheaper than a penny.
That's right, cheaper than a penny. Fuck it. But no. They're vampires. Look out. Like, holy shit, out of nowhere. And it just keeps going that direction, because you think it's about the one thing, and all of a sudden, and it just keeps going with that. But yeah, this is the one thing that just blew me out of the water. I had no idea. Loved the ride it took me on.
Cheech Marine is in this for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So is Tom Savini. Man, I'm blanking on some of the other names, but Harvey Keitel, obviously.
Harvey Keitel is in it.
Juliette Lewis.
Yep, Juliette Lewis. Yep. There's
that. My God. Yeah, Salma Hayek.
We just got our NC-17 rating. So.
That's all right. Worth it.
Yeah.
I remember going to see this movie because two reasons. Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
At the time this movie came out, they were my two favorite directors because of El Mariachi and Desperado, and then obviously Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. And the two halves of this movie are not written by the people you would think. The first half of the movie, which I thought was written by Tarantino, was not. It was actually written by Robert Rodriguez. And the second half of the movie, after the twist, was actually written by Tarantino.
Yeah.
But they collaborated. They met each other on the indie film circuit. And yeah, this movie's awesome. It's got Los Lobos in it.
Yep.
Let's kill that fucking band.
Fuck you, everybody, we're out.
Yeah, it's got Danny Trejo in it, of course, because Danny Trejo's got to be in a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yep.
He's my favorite Machete. And this is George Clooney, like just when he was really breaking out onto his own.
Mm-hmm.
And they really caught Clooney at like one of his coolest, when he was at his zenith for being like the coolest, baddest dude on the planet. And I would have loved to have seen Clooney in like 20 more Tarantino movies. I'm just going to put that out there.
Sure.
Yeah. He's like a good, like cool, good guy / bad guy. He's like everything.
Yeah, kind of anti-hero kind of dude, right? But his level of confidence, like with just the way he said everything in that movie. Really good. Oh, it's not Los Lobos. It was Tito and Tarantula was the band in this one. Los Lobos was in El Mariachi. My apologies. And Desperado.
Yep. Yes, Evan Cheechmarin.
It is important to me to get those things right because I'm a movie nerd, and so I apologize. Awesome pick, Bob. I didn't even think about this. And what a crazy twist.
Yeah, like I said, like I knew Quentin Tarantino. I didn't know who Rodriguez was. I knew Tarantino from Reservoir Dogs and stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah, look at these guys just robbed this bank. This is gonna be awesome, and then still awesome, but holy cow, they really just like threw it out.
No,
another one.
So I had rented Desperado from the video store and then immediately bought it and may have worn out parts of that tape. I won't go into which parts, but that movie has Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, Quentin Tarantino, Danny Trejo. The dude who plays Bucho is the bad guy from Clear and Present Danger. He's in a bunch of other movies. Anyways, and that's the first time I saw Danny Trejo in anything, even though I think had already been in Heat at that point.
But then because this scene exists.
Yeah, no doubt. But when I knew that Tarantino and Rodriguez were doing a movie together, I was like, I have to see this. And yes, Trevor, I will agree with you. The thing is, Desperado, El Mariachi is a better movie, but Desperado is so much more polished, and it also has Salma Hayek. El Mariachi is such a breath of fresh air, but you've got to watch it with subtitles. You got to be okay watching it.
Yeah, but do they have machine guns in their guitar cases?
Kinda. I mean, there is some stuff like that. Like the first 5 minutes of Desperado tells you what happened in El Mariachi, because Desperado is technically the sequel. Okay. But yeah. Right. But good stuff, man. Just great stuff. Loved it. Rodriguez, unfortunately, is a guy who has kind of fallen off a bit with some of his production, but holy shit, did I love Sin City as well.
Oh yeah, that was unique.
But I didn't get into the Spy Kids movies and some of his other stuff after that. But I did get to meet Danny Trejo, and he introduced him with my kids, and he introduced himself to my children as Uncle Machete.
Nice.
Which was my favorite thing. Also, Danny Trejo is my height.
Yeah.
And he
good taco trucks.
Yeah. And also the nicest dude. Mm-hmm. He's so scary when you see him in some movies where he's trying to be scary, but he was legitimately one of the friendliest, nicest guys you could ever meet.
Nice.
One of my favorite celebrities that I ever had the opportunity to meet in person. And of all the things, well, I had him sign 2 things for me. I had him sign my Machete my Machete Blu-ray, but I also had him sign my Anchorman Blu-ray because he's in Anchorman for 30 seconds. Man, that dude cleans up good. Like he's got like 2 lines in it. Oh shit. Yeah, and Trevor, yeah, I could just learn Spanish. You're right. I could, but I just watch it with subtitles. I'm good there. Oh shit. Okay, my number 2. Ooh. How about we go with American Psycho from what, 2001, 2002? Second, no wait, is this the second movie that has Christian Bale on the list? Yes. So American Psycho, the twist is that he may not have actually killed anybody, and it's all been in his head the whole time.
Yeah.
That is the twist for American Psycho. I mean, other than that, there's not really much of a twist, but I enjoyed the possibility, right, of his madness, and that the pressures of trying to maintain that sort of corporate personality, you know, and everything, and keep up with everybody, and what that has driven what Patrick Bateman, you know, the levels of madness that has driven him to, you know, the depravity, and what a hollow shell of a human being he is. But again, okay, so also a second appearance for Jared Leto, right? Because he was also in Fight Club.
Oh, okay. So on the lines here of American Psycho, I don't know how much TikTok you guys do, but there was this. I was going to stop at the next picture, but maybe not that one. These guys did like a D&D, like you can take your finger down for a second. Well, it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
A D&D dice thing where they were recreating the scene with the cards, right? Because the guys had the business cards
business cards.
and they're like,
they're doing the dice.
Ooh, that lettering. Yeah, so the nerds are like, look at these dice. I just got them. Yeah, Dwarven Forge, this color with this color lettering. I do like their dice better, but and it's that whole like inner monologue
that's so good
that he does in the show. The guy is doing on the TikTok. They did a really good job covering that. It was pretty funny.
I mean, also Reese Witherspoon. This movie has a ton of really this movie has a ton, an amazing cast,
and it's got a great Weird Al spoof.
The Weird Al spoof with Huey Lewis is by far the best thing ever.
Yeah, there's Jared Leto.
But yeah, I'm not going to get into the spoiler anymore because it's very much towards the end of the movie. But this movie was bananas.
It was great.
And I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And what a fun takedown of corporate 80s yuppie culture.
Yeah. Oh, there's the card scene right there. He's like stressing out that the dude.
Oh, and he's
like
sweating as he. Yeah, it's like what is it? Eggshell and raised lettering and all that.
Like his card better than mine.
Yeah,
you almost have like that anime like inner monologue going on.
Right. Oh, what's the name of the? Gosh, there's another really good actor in this movie, and I can't think of his name. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, there's a ton of really good actors in this and actresses. This movie is disturbing and upsetting, but very cool.
What was the other thing with Christian Bale from earlier?
The Prestige.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Prestige.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. Oh no, I was thinking of Justin Theroux. He is in a ton of stuff. Willem Dafoe, yes, I forgot about Willem Dafoe as the detective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was he no? That was the other one where he was like laying in bed with that guy, and he's like, "Do you want to cuddle?"
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints. That's what I was thinking.
That's a plot twist for Boondock Saints.
Right.
I didn't know Willem Dafoe was gay in that movie.
Neither did he.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
All right. So it says my number 2, right?
Yeah.
Run. I've got to go with a real, I guess, somewhat modern day classic in the past 20, 30 years, whatever. The Usual Suspects.
Oh, nice.
Okay, this is so good. This is hold on, before we get into the spoilers, I will say that this movie's been out long enough.
95. That
I think that people that might have known the spoiler without seeing it may have already forgotten. And so should just still watch this movie.
Yeah.
And this is the first movie that this isn't the first movie I saw with Benicio del Toro, because technically that was Big Top Pee-wee, and I didn't know it was him. But this is the first movie that I knew I was watching Benicio del Toro in a movie, and I loved him in this movie. Now I will hold my finger up for you, Jason, while you talk, please.
Yes. And I have to admit, I'm a little rusty myself. I personally, I'll probably have some holes here in the plot, but more, you can correct me as we go, but there's these criminals, and they are kind of, there's corrupt cops, and they're railroaded kind of thing, and so they're trying to get back. I don't know, help me out here. And then I know
so they're all career criminals that have been put together a team of criminals that have been put together to pull off like this big job. And it is bookended by, I believe it is Chaz Palminteri is interviewing Kevin Spacey's character Verbal, trying to get what happened, because he is convinced that Gabriel Byrne's character is behind the whole thing. Yeah.
And then they're trying to find Kaiser Sose.
Who is Kaiser Sose?
Yes. And man, this was my number one. Like, spoiler alert.
Oh, really?
Twisty Twist. This was my number one. Like, this movie was fantastic.
Oh my God, this movie's so fucking good. I was just watching a scene from it yesterday. Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker. And then they
give me the fucking keys, you cocksucker.
Yeah, what'd you say? Clear. Give me the fucking keys, cocksucker.
That lineup scene was just hilarious.
Oh yeah, give me the keys. Kevin Pollak is so good in this movie. Yeah.
Man,
Billy Baldwin.
Yep, and like, so they all kind of like know each other, have wronged like a certain person at a certain time, and so he gets all these dudes like together in one jail cell because he's got the power to do it, and they kind of come up with this other like crime or to pull off, and it's just they're trying to go after like the one guy that can identify Kaiser Sose, and man, it's really good. I haven't seen it in a long time myself, but I really enjoyed this movie. You don't see the twist coming at all until the end, and there's just all these like slow motion reveals of like where the ideas were coming from, all these names that he's dropping, and then lo and behold, there he is. He's been there the whole time. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of those where like the answers are always right in front of you, kind of thing. You didn't even realize it.
So I gotta ask Trevor really quick. So number one, Wait Until Dark. Okay, so Alan Arkin, I think Audrey Hepburn. Anyways, I absolutely love this movie, and I think Alan Arkin has a knife that he calls Stella. I think he's got a name for his knife. It's a switchblade, but it's like a statue of a lady. I don't remember there being a twist to this, but the crazy thing about Wait Until Dark is that these guys show up to steal this thing that Audrey Hepburn has, but she's blind and she doesn't. And so like the tension of the movie is they're like sneaking around her apartment and she is blind, but I don't remember there being a twist. So I apologize for that, but I love that freaking movie. That's an amazing movie. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. Jason, you're shaking your head. You remember that movie?
Vaguely, but I remember it being awesome. I don't remember every little detail of it, but I remember it being really good. Which is kind of fun. But...
Oh, is it the guy trying to help her? The whole movie is the actual bad guy. Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank you, Trevor. I didn't remember that part, but I remember loving that movie. I remember the cast being awesome, and it's super tense and very moody. Man, Usual Suspects. Holy shit, what a great pick.
I didn't even like click through any of like the pictures. We got sidetracked with the great pick. Like,
I didn't even write it down because I knew that was
the unpopular Baldwin was in it.
Mm-hmm.
The unpopular.
It's the best movie that Billy Baldwin's been in.
Yeah.
Next to John Carpenter's Vampires. I believe that was Billy Baldwin as well, but he was a lot fatter then.
But yeah, fantastic movie.
Yeah,
great pick. It was such a good pick. It was my number one.
It almost was my number one, isn't it? Made it for two.
Nice, and Trevor's number one too. So that's works out pretty good. All right. Well, I guess
you're number two, right?
What? No, that was his number two.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're
his
first.
Number two was my number one.
That's right.
So
you got to pivot.
I'll throw up the number one. And I will have to switch. So on my honorable mentions, Cabin in the Woods has already been talked about.
Yep.
The Star Wars movies have already been talked about.
Yep.
There's two left that I was going to pick from. So I think I'll go to this. Carlos, I'm not sure if you're still in the chat or not. But something you had said earlier reminded me of this movie. And it was more of a more modern, I guess, twisty twist. You just don't see the things coming that kind of come at you towards the end. But The Departed, right?
The Departed.
Just watched this the other day.
That's a good movie, man.
It's a fantastic movie. Yeah.
It's really good.
I love the accents in it. And then, like I said, at the end,
okay, so Mark Wahlberg's good in two movies. He's good in The Departed and Boogie Nights. That's it.
That's right. You know, I treat cops like I treat mushrooms. I feed them shit and keep them in the DAC.
Yeah. Alec Baldwin, Jack
Baldwin,
Nicholson.
he's like, we don't trust perfect record. I do. I have a perfect record. Like, he's got some great lines in there, you know.
Martin Sheen, really good cast.
Really great cast. I mean, it was written, directed by Scorsese, so you know it's going to be, you know, long.
I mean, at least good. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and it was really good. Just DiCaprio does a great job. I got a whole bunch of DiCaprio movies. I think he's a good actor. Like, I like most of the movies that he's been in. And yeah, I actually just rewatched this maybe a month or so ago. And yeah, there's just some really good twists and some good action. If you like mobster kind of stuff, that's in there. You know, Jack Nicholson, he plays a nice mobster type character, an Irish mafia type guy.
Yeah.
But
Matt Damon.
But yeah. But no, he even did a good job with his accent. I was proud of him.
Who, Matt Damon?
Yeah.
He's from Boston. Of course he's got that.
Well, sure.
Him and Affleck.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess it wasn't acting then.
Just so Evan knows, because he asked if Benicio was in Big Top Pee-wee. He is. He plays the dog face boy or whatever. So yeah, that was, I believe, was his first movie.
Yeah, Departed.
Have a yard. Park the car. Got to park it.
That's like that. I got the car park, right?
The car park
itself is a car park.
Car park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many movies I could pick for the number one. Gosh, I'm just gonna go with the most classic, iconic one, and I'm not even gonna hold my finger up for it because by far the oldest movie on my list, and everybody knows it, and I don't think it ruins knowing it. Yeah, it is a hipster pick. Alert. I'm just gonna go with Psycho. Okay. I mean, Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock Psycho. I mean, is absolutely Anthony Perkins, right? You've got Janet Leigh, right? Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. And I mean, there's a couple twists in this, right? I mean, everybody knows the shower scene. That is, if you're not familiar with that movie, they set Janet Leigh up like at the beginning of that movie. The first 20 minutes of that movie, you think she's the main character, and then they kill her. And that is one of the first movies I can think of that did that, right? And you're like, holy shit. And then you're like, well, who's the killer? Because you don't know that it's Norman Bates at the time, right? I mean, you don't know that. And that everybody knows the reveal now, but this is one of those movies that even knowing the reveal and knowing what's going on doesn't ruin it. This is still a really, 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 really good movie, really interesting and really important to cinema and movies and the sort of the evolution of movies and what movies we have today. I will say skip the Gus Van Sant direct, shot for shot remake starring Anne Heche, Vincent D'Onofrio, William H. Macy, and a couple of others. Because why when you can just watch the original? It's so good. It's so good. The original is amazing. It is honestly one of the greatest suspense, horror movies of all time. I'll die on that hill. It is a little dated, right? Because it is a product of its time, but it is so important. It is so important for everything that came afterwards. And just plot twist of plot twists. I mean, they hit you with not just one, but two plot twists in this movie. And the first one comes in the first 25 minutes of the film. So it's really good. Really good.
Even the sequels weren't, they weren't amazing, but they were,
no, they honestly, compared to some franchises that have had a ton of sequels, they actually fared a bit better than most. So, So I'm just going to go with Psycho as number one. It's the king, man. It is the king of the plot twist. Trevor, I definitely could have gone with Primal Fear or Donnie Darko. Those are both honorable mentions for me.
Kept seeing Donnie Darko on the list, but it's been such a long time since I've seen it, I couldn't remember the twist. All right, Jason, what you got for number one?
My number one, okay. I'm surprised this hasn't been said yet. Maybe it was, and I just fell asleep. I don't know. The Sixth Sense.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This was one I left off only because I thought somebody else would say it.
Yeah, well, true.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, because this movie's fucking incredible. Please continue.
Yeah, I guess I hold the finger up.
Oh yeah.
So
I'll be right back.
Most people have probably seen this, but there's a guy who's a psychiatrist, and he's basically helping this kid that says that he can, has this, ability to see dead people, and all this crazy stuff plays out, and then it turns out in the end that Bruce Willis, who plays the psychiatrist, is actually dead, and that's how it kind of makes sense, because he can see dead people, so that's why he sees him. But you didn't realize he was dead this whole time. And I will swear on anything that if anyone says that they knew that was coming, they're probably a horrible liar. Unless they had, barring, some sort of they saw,
somebody told them, heard about it somehow.
Yeah. I cannot reasonably think that anyone, we were all just so like, what,
Right. I remember when it first came out, everybody was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, and then, and again, M. Night, right? So, you've got a string of them there, and, I had some honorable mentions, too. I don't know if you want to run them down real quick, but...
if you're ready for it.
Some of them were already said, but I think you admit, Fight Club, didn't make my top five, but it was definitely an honorable mention. American Psycho was already mentioned. Psycho, he just said, even like a little bit more recent, the Scream franchise, Get Out. What else do I have? Primal Fear was mentioned. The Others, Nicole Kidman. I don't know if you remember that one.
I've heard of that one. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. The Village, again, going back to some M.
Shyamalan. Yeah.
Orphan,
which one?
Orphan.
Okay.
Scary, creepy.
I love The Others.
Oh, The Others is a good one. Yeah, it was honorable mention for me. Shutter Island, Citizen Kane, even.
Oh, great twist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great twist.
Old movie, but oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, I enjoyed Shutter Island too. I didn't think that was bad.
I did not like Shutter Island at all. I knew what was happening in the first 10 minutes, and I was mad that I was right.
Did you read the book?
I didn't, but I read the book by the same author, Mystic River. That book also ruined the movie for me. Like, I didn't like the movie because I loved the book so much.
Don't read.
Dennis Lehane, I believe, is the author.
The only one left on my list that hadn't been mentioned yet was Friday the 13th, the original one.
I had it written down. Great twist.
Yeah, great twist at the end there. Everybody thinks it's one thing, but it's not. So,
yeah, that one I enjoyed, even though it is a cheat.
Sure, yeah, it is. It is, but
it is one that cheats because you never see
that person.
that person. Right. Trevor, I was fortunate enough not to have Sixth Sense spoiled for me. I loved Sixth Sense. I saw that the end happened. I was like already crying, because of like everything at the end, the conversation he has with his mom. Like Haley Joel Osment has it in the car with his mom at the end where he's talking about how grandma watched you, at your dance thing. You know what I mean? Like how he is able to tell her and like relay to her that he, the twist. And it was like, ooh, that just was bawling. It's so good. I heard you say The Others. I freaking loved that movie with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Thought that was a great twist. Really spooky movie. I hate the Scream franchise, but right, you can't deny the twist. But then the problem for me also was, I felt like Scream tried so hard to be like, hey, it's this person, it's this person, it's this person. No, it's not. It's this person, it's this person, it's this person. No, it's not. It's this person. No, it's not. And it's like, okay, we get it, right? Like it was just too much for me. And then it got too cute by the end. And then when you get to the sequels, I was like this is now really dumb. And even Wes Craven himself went to I'm going to go read the script so I know what's happening trope twice. He did that in Nightmare on Elm Street, The New Nightmare, which I hated. And he did that in Scream 2 or 3 maybe. So anyways, that's my own bitching about that. Primal Fear. Holy shit.
Richard Gere, right?
Huh?
Is that Richard Gere?
Richard Gere and Ed Norton. Yeah. Ed Norton popping up again. That would be his third appearance if that was on the list, right? But Primal Fear is an amazing twist. Long time since
seen that, yeah.
That is a freaking great movie. One that I was kind of surprised it didn't come up is Gone Girl. Gone Girl could have been.
I haven't seen it.
Could have been my number one. Bob, you need to watch Gone Girl like right now. That movie's freaking amazing. The book is great too. I mean, your pick. Read the book or watch the movie.
Why? Read the book when it'll ruin the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But that was.
Get off of here and go watch it like immediately.
Yeah, go watch Gone Girl and Barbarian.
So, Barbarian and Gone. I'm writing these on my list here.
Yeah,
Girl.
Gone.
Oh my God.
Gone Girl.
Did you see that cat just do what she just did to me?
I did. Gone Girl is so good. It really is. It's legit great. And it's nightmare fuel, man. Gone Girl is nightmare fuel. Like just
sweet.
Don't be a dirtbag.
There's not many likable characters in that one, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's the great thing about Gone Girl though, right? Is like it's really hard to have be sympathetic towards the protagonist. And so it really puts a lot of questions in your head on or what people are capable of, right?
Yeah. Well, you find yourself saying like, well, who do I actually root for here? They're all kind of scumbags.
Yeah, also true. Also true. I will also point out another Johnny Depp movie that I thought had a fun twist, and that is The Ninth Gate, directed by Roman Polanski. Yeah. He plays like a rare book dealer, and he's like trying to hunt down, some kind of book thing and blah, blah, blah. And there's a bunch of stuff going on. And along a similar theme, Rosemary's Baby has a great twist. Also directed by Roman Polanski. If you haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, you should watch it. It's really upsetting. It's deliberately paced because it is a movie of its time, but starring Mia Farrow, Jack Cassavetes, same thing. Awesome movie, though. Awesome movie. And Bob, you will like it because you like cults and stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me write down a cult movie here.
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby.
Great acting, crazy story, wild ending.
Wild ending.
Older movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an older movie from the 70s. Frank Sinatra actually divorced Mia Farrow for being in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, facts. Jason, I was ready to give you hell if you had this movie on your list because you didn't like Knives Out. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm talking about, I guess you could go with either version, but I am in my brain, hipster, being an old school hipster, Gen Xer, pictured the original Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Because if you want a movie with too many characters and too many motives and you have a problem with Knives Out, I'm going to say that you cannot put Murder on the Orient Express on your list. Because every character, there's like 10 characters and they all have motive. And it's like, who did it? I know who did it. I'm not going to tell you. But it's a great twist in that, in that, because trust me, you won't see it coming. It's very cool. It's very cool. And it's probably the first movie or at least story that I can think of that did something like that. And that is a Hercule Poirot, one of the Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot novels.
Right.
The A Murder in Venice or A Haunting in Venice is also a good one.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, that's good. Have you guys seen The Game? Sean Penn, Michael Douglas, also a David Fincher.
Yeah.
No, I've seen The Most Dangerous Game with like Ice Cube.
Nope. I'm talking about good movies here.
A little different.
The Game is a real mind screw. I'll just tell you that. There's some creep.
I forget some of the plot, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is like basically Michael Douglas can't figure out if somebody's messing with him, and he can't figure out why. Because he's been signed up for the game, but he doesn't know what the game is. And so he's trying to figure it out and like what has happened. That's all I'll say about it. But it's David Fincher, right? So, I mean, you've got the same director as Fight Club and Zodiac, you know what I mean? What was it? The Facebook movie. What was that called? God damn it. Why can't I think of the name of that movie?
Facebook.
Social Network.
Social Network.
Yeah. Yeah. Girl with Dragon Tattoo.
One that I suppose we should probably mention too. It was Mike's number one. That's why I left off my list. I wasn't sure if Mike was going to be showing up or not, but I did really enjoy this game. Although I guess kind of spoilers, the ending happens first before you see the beginning, but the beginning is where you find out what's going on in Memento.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, but that's a fun ride. Memento
is an amazing twist, right? Mm-hmm. That's Christopher Nolan. Nolan's good at the twists. Social Network. Thank you, Trevor. I did come around to it eventually. I just couldn't think of it. With now known cannibal Armie Hammer. So now go watch it because Armie Hammer it's got some problems. The two others that I'll say really fast. Arrival is a really good, has an amazing twist. Is a really good movie, really good sci-fi sort of alien, like encounter movie. And I'm not ashamed to say I cry at movies. And this movie, again, had me devastated by the end of it. I was just like so moved by this movie and blindsided by the plot twist.
Wasn't that the one with
Amy Adams?
Yeah, who's the guy?
I don't remember who the guy is in it, but she's like basically like a linguist, kind of like she is able to like help figure out languages. So they bring her in to try to interpret what the aliens are trying to communicate.
Yeah.
I was moved to a bigger house by the movie. Anyways, Arrival's great. And then the last one I will say, and I absolutely love this movie. But the twist is, it's not as twisty as some of the others, but if you like horror movies and you like comedy movies, you must absolutely 1,000,000% watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Tucker and Dale. I saw this movie at a horror movie convention before it was released and before all the effects were finished. So like literally we saw stuff like there were like a frame that would just say like effects coming, was like a just like a placard put in for stuff, and we still laughed our asses off at this watching this movie at a Horror Hound in Cincinnati. But this movie did not disappoint. They made a Korean Tucker and Dale. Well, I must watch it. But Tucker and Dale, kind of like Cabin in the Woods, takes horror tropes, flips them on their head, and is really subversive in a fun way. Have you guys seen Tucker and Dale? Either of you?
I don't recall. I don't know if I did.
No.
Bob, it's got Alan Tudyk in it.
No kidding.
He's like one of the main guys.
Nice. I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is amazing. All I will say is that it is a comedy of errors. And there's some misunderstandings going on in that movie. Nice. Because Tucker and Dale are two hillbillies just trying to go up to their cabin in the woods to have a fun weekend of fishing and hunting.
Redneck weekend.
Yeah. And these preppy kids show up and ruin everything.
Also, how do we didn't have Clue on there.
Oh, dude, Clue is, I mean, that has 5 twist endings, right?
Yeah.
Or at least 3 twist endings, I think.
And I don't, and you know me, I'm kind of not, when they get too many suspects, I get a little fidgety, but that one just was such a fun movie. You can't ignore it, you know?
Yeah, Clue's fantastic. I don't know why I didn't even write down Clue. Because again, not just one. Okay, The Handsome Guys, Trevor, I'm writing that down. I've got to watch that and Charade. I'm a movie fanatic, so like any opportunity to talk about movies, Jason, I was like, I'm in.
This was right up your alley, right?
It was, dude. It was. That's why, like, when I'm talking about movies, I'm like spouting out all the directors and actors and blah blah blah, and trying to nail the year. Like, I'm that guy. I'm unfortunately that guy.
I'm kind of Rain Man with some of the years too. I'm usually, if I don't guess the exact year, I'm usually within like a year or two at the worst.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Unless it's too old, beyond my kind of.
Well, that's fair, but I mean, if it's in your scope, right, you're on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially like 80s and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Hell yeah. And it, Clue is amazing. Soylent Green, obviously, great pick. I think everybody knows the line, whether you've seen it or not. Logan's Run has a fun twist to it as well.
What's the line?
The line from Soylent Green?
Mm-hmm.
Soylent Green is people.
Oh.
Did you not know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so Soylent Green is a sort of
what it is. I mean, I know that now, but I didn't know that line.
Yeah, Charlton Heston, like as they're hauling him off at the end. It's sort of like Planet of the Apes. You blew it up! Damn you! Yeah.
Damn you! Yeah.
You blew it all to hell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Charlton Heston, he had Soylent Green, he had Planet of the Apes, he had Mega Man, he had he was doing a bunch of movies like that back in the day. Which it's kind of crazy that an actor that well known was doing such schlock then. But whatever. Any other twists? Any other honorable mentions anybody's got?
I was gonna mention. Okay, so this isn't really. I'm cheating here a little bit, but I'm just gonna mention this, being just kind of a horror fan. I love the old school Halloween with Michael Myers and everything, and some of the newer ones, and I can take it or leave it. But it's not a twist because he's obviously, even as a boy or whatever, he grows up and he's just trying to kill his sister and all that. But it's just the fact that as a villain, you never really knew, or even to this day, like what's wrong with the kid? I mean, what's wrong with this guy? Why does he want to kill? You never really, like, everything else, like even Friday the 13th, there's always a motive, there's always revenge, there's always, and in Halloween, it's just as a villain, what a cool villain. Like we just, yeah, maybe he's just crazy, but we don't really know for sure. Like it's just kind of this question mark that all these years and all these sequels later that it still kind of like makes it kind of interesting and kind of intriguing.
So in 4 and 5, they try to kind of answer it and then abandon it with the whole Cult of Thorns
Right? Yeah,
thing.
the guy in black or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, they
Yeah.
abandoned that very quickly, right? And then
Right.
next thing you know, you've got was it Ludacris that was like karate fighting him in the bottom of a in the basement of a
Oh,
house and Halloween Resurrection?
is it
Or,
Coolio maybe? I don't know.
no, I don't think it was Coolio.
I can't remember which actor it was or what singer.
What rapper? Yeah, it was. It was bad though. It was stupid. It's dumb as hell.
Definitely not one of the best.
I think it was
ones.
Ludacris.
I thought it was Luda. And then you even have Paul Rudd in one of those sequels as well. But yeah, the mystery behind Michael Myers. I one of the things I kind of appreciated with the sequels that came after the Rob Zombie ones is they really don't try to explain the why. They just kind of continue.
Just keep going with it.
And I think that while those movies have some flaws, I did appreciate that they didn't really try to like, and this is why, no, that's one of the flaws with like the Rob Zombie one, like no, we don't need it to be a kid that snaps and like is now he would have been a school shooter, but instead he's a stabber. Like, no, we don't need that. Like it's better left and it's scarier when it's ambiguous, right? In my opinion.
Right. No obvious motive necessarily, or
that
kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that the first one. That's why the first one's so scary, right? Like for no reason, he puts on that mask, he goes upstairs and he stabs the shit out of his sister. And then later on, he breaks out of the the mental hospital and they don't even get into the Laurie Strode is his sister thing until 2.
Right.
And even then, like, it's like, okay. But that first one, because of you just don't even know why, and he just seems unstoppable, is so terrifying. And really and again, the mystery, right? The mystery is what's interesting.
Yeah, it's just because you don't really know. And I mean, that's where you kind of get conversation and you're coming up with theories and like, oh, he's just, his parents beat him. I mean, who knows? We don't know. I mean, we really don't know.
Right.
So, yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like one Rob Zombie movie, and that was House of a Thousand Corpses. After that, I've watched them all, and I've just like, and I would love to see, and it doesn't exist anymore because I believe that they've destroyed the prints, but the original version of what a House of a Thousand Corpses was, because the studio came in and they reshot stuff and they changed some things around. But I would love to see what that original vision was. But even as it is, like the weird discombobulated kind of mess, I think the weird tonal shifts and the unevenness of it is part of what I enjoy about that OG House of a Thousand Corpses. After that, I feel like again, it's he runs into one of those problems where there's not anybody reining him in and saying, no, like, let's streamline this. We can make this better. Because brutality, I've seen Faces of Death movies, and brutality just gets old and you become numb to it after a while. And Zombie tends to just lean into the brutality of things. And it's just not shocking anymore, right? Like, okay, we get it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's nobody in this movie I'm pulling for. Blah, blah, blah. That's my opinion. Hot take on Rob Zombie movies. But whatever.
I like it.
Stick to music.
I mean, even then, he still kind of does just Dragula and Astro Creep 30 times. But,
yeah.
That's kind of the same thing. A little predictable.
Right. He's good at one thing. That's for sure. He's really good.
You want me to be like, was that Ludacris who came out with his flute album?
No, that was Andre 3000.
3000.
Yeah. No, don't do the flute album. I mean, I guess do it, but don't tell anybody you did it. Let the hardcore fans find it.
Yeah. Put it under your pseudonym.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah. Well, man, I could go on forever about movies and movies with plot twists. Jason, so before I appreciate you jumping and wanting to do this topic, because again, anytime I can do a movie topic, like I'm so excited. And I'm sure Mike would have been fine if he was here, but I'm kind of glad Mike wasn't here because I could rant about movies without him getting too bored about it. But before we sign off again, we'll just remind everybody, if you're looking at like a subscription box, right? For a murder mystery, check out Killer Mystery. I would even say just try the first one, right? Like try one. And if you like it and you think it's interesting, then keep going. Because I think if you like one, you're gonna be in for the rest. I will just, without spoiling stuff, without getting into a ton of it, I think if the first one meets sort of your expectations and you feel like that's your jam, then run with it.
Well, and we also have, I mean, we do have the subscription series, and we're actually on our fourth season now.
Yes.
Of subscription box. But at PAX East, which I don't think you said you guys were going, right? But in next week, we're debuting a non-subscription game called Counter Killer, and it's it's the same format and the same essentially type of thing. However, it's just more of a party game, more of something that you can break out and just kind of solve in one sitting, albeit a little bit of a longer sitting. But so there's probably I would say on average a couple hours, maybe gameplay hour and a half, whatever, depending on your pace. So in other words, you don't have to. It's just a single story, I guess, for lack of a better term. So more retail friendly, more distribution friendly, something like that, where you're not waiting for the next one kind of thing. Although subscription's awesome too, but we're just trying to branch out and have a little bit of some options for everybody, and this is going to be the type of game where people, just hopefully break into retail sectors and things like that.
Hell yeah.
World, where you can just grab it and just have fun with it, date night, whatever. So still the same, more or less the same concept at that subscription series, but just kind of wrapped up into one nice little package and one game, one box, one story kind of thing.
Well, and I'll say, as far as the subscription thing goes, right? If you are going for some of the older ones, right, the ones that are already out, the great thing is if you've got a couple of them stacked up, it's almost like binging your favorite show. You can kind of just dig in and go until you need to take a break and then come back to it. And then you've still got like a ton of content to go through. And I will tell you that I've found it to be rewarding to go through the content with detail and not just browse it. Don't just buzz over it. You want to dig in because you're going to appreciate it. You're going to get a better experience out of it.
Put a pot of coffee on. You're going to dig into this thing,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's there's 5. I mean, that's the thing too. To your point, so when a season wraps up, because there's 5 episodes or 5 boxes, so one box per month. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get to episode 5, assuming you don't cancel or you did season pass or you prepay a discount for all 5, and you're guaranteed to do them all. You make your final guess at the end, who the killer is based on the clues and the story and everything. We've made notes on it and everything. But that's one of those things where once that season ends, that is then converts into a box set, so a bingeable, if you will, box set. So if you miss that season, or you just now joined, so it's the current season, and you didn't know what happened in the season don't really have any relation to each other necessarily.
Yeah, so independent of each other, right?
Totally new season, new story, new characters, new everything. But you can definitely go back, whether it's for a gift or yourself or whatever, and get that box set and just get all 5 in one fell swoop, and then just have a fun weekend, or spread it out over a couple weeks, or however you want to dig into all of them, because there's a lot of content, obviously. But so you definitely have some options going on there.
And I will speak again real quick to the quality of the materials, right? Like, so this picture that I'm holding right here, it feels like a photograph, you know, like this invitation feels like an invitation. And then because there's some papers of like police reports and things like that, and that's just paper. But the fact that everything just doesn't feel like paper, it feels like you have gotten all of these clues, you know, like you've opened up a case file and you're like going through stuff. It does feel like that. You did a really nice job of sort of creating that vibe. So like I said, when going through it, and because when you sent all that to me, and then my sister came over to hang out, and we like to play games together and stuff, and I was like, hey, you want to check? And her and I like to watch like horror movies, and we like a lot of the same movies and stuff, and so I just had a feeling she was gonna like this, so I was like, all right, let's crack this thing open, you know, and get into it. And man, she was like both feet in, like, let's go, and just champing at the bit to go at it. So it's good. It's good.
It definitely, you know, the whole thing is to kind of get you hooked, you know, get you addicted to that. What the heck is going on here? There's all kinds of crazy things, and characters and suspects and storyline, and just the whole world you can kind of just immerse yourself into, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like I said, we really enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it so far. And we haven't finished yet, so we kind of go in spurts. Like when I get together with her, I save it for when she comes over, and we go through a bunch of it, and then it's like, okay. But yeah, it's been a really fun time, and I really appreciate you sending that over so that I could could do that. And again, you know, as sort of as we wrap up, before tonight, other than a handful of Instagram messages, we had never met Jason before. Like, this is our first time. 10 minutes before, you know, we signed on, it was like the first time we've actually like got to talk and everything. So I really appreciate you, you know, coming on and hanging out with us and doing this with us, because, you know,
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You don't know us, you know, so I appreciate you doing that. That's because that's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going to be.
Are you guys going to be at Origins too?
Yeah, we'll be at Origins and Gen Con.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the commitment that I ask from Jason now is, Jason, we're going to make you play a board game with us, because I know you're not a big board gamer, even though you've sort of designed this game. So now we're not going to like make you play like something that's going to like melt your brain and isn't fun, you know, for people that aren't, you know, like totally into board games, but you have to just play a game with us, hang out with us, you know, have a beverage. Let's hang out. Let's play a game. We'll have a good time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll pick something cliche, like Ticket to Ride or something like that.
Easy, something easy, man.
We'll figure it out.
Something easy. Well, if you make Bob play Ticket to Ride, there might be a murder mystery, but we already know who did it.
It's Bob.
It was Bob the whole time.
Probably.
It was always Bob. We always said.
But anybody, Bob or Jason, you got anything else you want to share before we wrap it up, sign off for the night?
No, I don't think so. Just make sure everybody, you know, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up and all that good stuff. Thanks for joining us here on the show. I dropped Jason's Instagram and Facebook for Killer Mysteries into all of the chats. So hop over there and give follows and likes as well. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, get up on there, check it out. If you've been curious about a subscription box, I would say check this one out first, and just see what you think. But I'm biased because I haven't tried any of the other ones, and I've tried this one and I really liked it. So well, Jason, thank you again for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
This is awesome. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for giving me an excuse to talk about movies for an hour and a half, because I could do it for ages. But I know that at least Bob can hang. I knew Bob could hang, so I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried.
Not quite a cinephile at 10 minutes, but I do enjoy me some movies.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I'm like I am self-aware with my insanity for cinema. So I I don't expect everybody to come over to my level because that's.
I'm pretty good with the movie. I can tell you what just about-ish when it came out, who was in it, maybe a general plot. Tim's like, oh, it was this director filmed here with this location at this time, and this guy had this for lunch. It's like, all right, let's calm down.
Right. I am stupid about it. I agree.
I did find myself throwing out like a year of it or something, and people are just looking at me like, what does that matter? Why is that?
Yeah. No,
I know it's interesting.
Yeah, I agreed. Hey, Trevor, I'm really glad you could make it for the whole thing this time. So, but I appreciate everybody being here that was here and participated. Again, right? If it's not for the chat and the people that watch, the Wednesdays wouldn't be near as much fun.
Yep.
But Jason, I hope you want to come back on sometime in the future. We could do this again. Talk about whatever else we want. We could do a whole other. I could do 5 episodes on movies with twists, and I haven't even, nonstop.
We could dive into our favorite, the horror and the different subgenres.
Oh my God! Yes, let's go.
All right. So I think I figured out how to plug the outro into this end stream click. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start this. And if it just cuts off, I apologize. But for the board game rundown, I've been Bob.
I've been Tim.
And I've been Jason.
Hell yeah, man! We'll see you
Thanks
guys next
week. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys.
Good
next
job,
time.
Stonemeyer.
A 7.3 repeating. Heating.